Welcome to the Chasing Ebenezer show. This is a show where we talk about stuff, play you some music, and encourage you to be creative. This season, we are exploring the art of being human. We want to say thank you to our patrons who support us each month. If you want to know more about that, visit us on patreon.com/chasingebenezer. For more information about our musical endeavors, visit chasingebenezer.com. We hope you enjoy the show.
Well, hello, this is the Chasing Ebenezer show, coming to you from very cold Portland, Oregon right now. It's like the middle of June, and we are
it's rainy,
not
it's gross,
very warm. So
yeah.
I'm Heidi, this is Benjamin.
Hello.
And I was given permission to be whiny and
You
pissy
were.
today if
Absolutely.
I wanted to be.
Absolutely. Because it's better to just give permission than to just let it happen. So, yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Oh, wow. So excited. What are we excited about? Well, first of all, I'm excited about our patrons. We're excited about you every time we film. Thank you for your support and all the ways that just the fact that we know that we have patrons, it helps us do this. Sigh of relief. So thank you. What am I excited about?
You didn't think
I already knew. No, I already knew. It just took me a minute. There's a couple things. It's like sometimes it's like choosing what you're excited about, right? So I am excited because my friends Hunter and Kayla, who are also patrons, are getting married next week. So we're super excited about that. And I mean, I get to be a part of the wedding, so that's kind of nice. So I'm excited about that. I love them very much and looking forward to that. Hunter plays bass in our band. Kayla runs merch. So excited about that. What are you excited about?
I didn't think this through. I didn't think it through at all. Let's see. I don't know. I honestly didn't think it through.
Well, how did you feel your humanity? We'll do that first.
One, okay.
That's easy.
Well, I didn't think this one through very well. I thought it through like an hour ago, and clearly my inability to be able to remember anything is part of being human.
So this is the part of the show where I stall and I go for her.
No, that's so...
Sure?
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead.
I go for
Me
you.
not remembering is mine.
No worries. So I was going to go with blood sugar. On Thursday... So we've been doing this new eating plan for us, and I had not eaten that much during the day, and my blood sugar started going down, and I was going to an event, and I realized by the time I got to that event, I was so hungry, all my social skills I feel like went out the window, and maybe no one who hung out with me noticed it, but I noticed it.
Let us know
if you did, I'm sorry.
Noticed.
I'm sorry, but I just felt myself. I suddenly felt like I was in middle school and socially awkward, not knowing how to be a person. And I knew it was because I was hungry. Because once I had food in me, I was fine. So that's where I felt my humanity today. Not today, but this week. So did you think of something?
I already answered.
Oh, yours? Okay. And you're not excited about anything. Everything's kind of just...
I mean, I'm excited that I usually have so many things.
It's okay.
Maybe I'm just...
Maybe you're just not excited today.
I think I'm really tired, honestly. But let's see. I'm excited that I have almost finished some paintings that I'm going to get up online soon. So that'll be good.
They're looking really good, too.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Our time off is very different. Like, when I have time off, I'm not moving, and I'm watching TV. She's making art. I'm
also watching TV.
While she's making art. So... You were very gifted at that, and I always get to be a part of your process of watching you create art, which is super fun. Love that. So today's show is we're going to be talking about the process of creativity, the process of being a human. So yeah, stick around and let's go talk about that. So when it comes to thinking about process, like the way things get done, the way things get made, what is something that you decided to take on that you realized was far more involved, details and everything, than you had originally planned?
Well, almost everything in my life. However, writing a good book, knowing how to be an adult, you say that I underestimate the amount of time
something takes.
That it takes. Yep. So we generally see finished products, finished stuff wherever we are. So it feels like, that shouldn't take too long.
I can do that.
Yeah, I can
Super
do that.
easy. Super easy. Yeah. I think that obviously recording music has been a big one, but that's obvious. For sure. Making video has been a process of learning how to do things, because I used to think, just put a phone in front of it or just put a camera on, and then I'm like, well, why does the sound not sound that great? Why do I look so dark in the camera? And I forget about, how do I set up microphones? How do I do the lighting? And then there's a whole fun process of like editing something in the computer. So I've had to, anything that's really good takes a lot of work, and that's really okay. Music takes a lot of work. Painting takes a ridiculous amount of work, and I'm so impressed.
Some people are so fast though, Bob Ross creates a masterpiece in 30 minutes. So, it feels like 30 minutes should be enough for everything. So, for me, it's not. And you figure
Bob Ross got that efficient probably over time.
Yeah. I think he probably practiced. I think he probably practiced a little bit. So.
The squirrels taught him how to paint, and that's why. Yeah. Yeah, I learned a lot about process. Some of you know this, some of you don't, but when I did about 2.5 years working in a manufacturing warehouse doing vitamins, and that was something that, like, whole streams of employment were based on process, and the whole goal was to get a bunch of raw materials mixed together a certain way and then put into capsules and then shoved in a capsule with the right amount, then packaged and then sent off. So there was like this whole process, this whole chain of events that took place. And as a result, I do not look at the vitamin section the same way I used to. I was very bad at this job. Just to say, speed is not my gift. Thoroughness is, but speed was not. But it was really cool because, like, with each point, there was somebody that would come and check and make sure everything was right, all the standards were met, and before it moved on to the next thing. And I thought, wow, that really, we don't think as artists, I don't know, maybe this artist doesn't think in those terms. They think, I have an idea and here's the finished product, versus all the stuff that has to go into it to get to that point. And that's hard. That's a big shift. It's very hard.
Yeah, we talked about perseverance last week, so this is kind of goes together with that. Yeah, because we generally just see the end result, and so it's really hard to know how long these things should take, because every person's different too.
Right, and I think I would say the difference between a manufacturing job, where speed is definitely the goal, getting it done and as much done as quickly as possible. Art, the freedom in art, if you're not working for somebody, is that you are honestly setting your own timetable with that, and you can take the time that you need to get each part of the process done. And everybody's process is extremely different, but it is a process. Why do you think being in process is important to the idea of being human? Before we even talk about creativity, just human.
Because I think that it's difficult to remember that we're all on a journey and every person's on their own journey, and so it feels like, well, what's wrong with those people? They should just have it down. Right. Like, this isn't tough for them. This is a piece of cake for me, and why are they so stupid? And
and vice versa.
We have such high expectations of people, and it's difficult to remember that each person's life is a journey. It's a story, and so if we forget that, then we're just miserable. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. Oh.
Could you say that again, just so I can...
Maybe it's one of the things wrong with me, because there's a lot of things.
No.
There's so many things. So I think that, and if there's an area that we don't like about ourselves, I know you say this to me, we often are judgmental of the things in other people that we're also weak at or something like that.
Yes.
So,
pay attention to that next time you start getting critical of somebody. It'll render you quite humble.
So it's important to recognize that everything has a process to it, and it's just the messy part and the beautiful part of living. And so it gives us more grace for each other and ourselves if we recognize that we are in a process. But if you don't recognize that, then it's not very fun when someone points it out.
Yeah, not at all.
Or when something happens and you're like, wait a minute, I'm an adult. I'm supposed to be an awesome person. Why isn't this working out? Why is anyone upset with me?
Yeah. Well, and I think that I think more than Americans do, but because we are such an instant culture and we're such a lot of what we see for humanity is on television, and we see those finished products, we don't recognize that we weren't created to be constantly putting out all this amazing work all the time. If you look at nature, most trees are not bearing fruit all year long. There's a season where they're fallow. There's a season where there's rain, like right now in June, where there's a ton of rain in Oregon. So there's times where you're having to lay low, and what's happening when you're being laid low is that there's a lot of other stuff going on underneath the surface that'll eventually work its way out. But it almost, like, to say that you're in process, I mean, you almost feel like a little bit of shame when you say that, don't you?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I used to. Now I'm just like, I don't know what to do when I grow up. I don't know how to be an adult. Who gave me my adult permission card?
And I'm pretty sure our parents felt the same way, and they just didn't tell us.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, but process is all around us. It's a part of creation, and it is a part of how we are wired. And I think if we start learning to accept that and to love process, I think it will definitely affect us as humans, and it will affect us as artists. All right, so, like, process is all around us. It's happening. As people, we are in process. That's a phrase that's used. But, like, as artists, our creative process is also something we need to be paying attention to. So I've been kind of paying attention to mine and know like how to cultivate mine. I'm curious, like, what you're learning about yours.
Well.
And you have so many fields to choose from.
I know. But I noticed, like, okay. Are you making fun of me?
I'm excited.
You look like you're making fun of me.
No, I'm excited.
You can make fun of me. I'm totally make funnable. Is that?
Sure.
Make fun of me. I have figured out that I definitely work in stages, but I get super stuck and frustrated. I have like this cement block that sets in with like every project. And so that is not fun. But I realize that if I switch tasks or go do something else, then later, slowly the cement will
thaw. Yeah.
It's like if I just leave the house, then it's just like a jackhammer, like. In my brain.
I hear that.
So I have learned as well about a lot of layering. That's definitely with painting.
For painting, yeah.
For painting.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like assessing what the layers are. Bob Ross is so good at this. So that could be a great prompt for you to just watch an episode of Bob and watch the layering process that he's doing. Here's what I've learned, that when I try to cheat, because I get, you can tell I'm really tired, because
yes,
I can't think of the word. When I get, What's the word for when I'm in a rush and then I try to cheat the system?
When you get rushed?
Oh, there's a word. I'm losing my marbles again. When I try to rush it and like, oh, this will be fine. Or this is dry enough. Shortcut. When I try to take a shortcut, it ends up becoming a long cut. And then I end up screwing it up. But if I just, there's a little voice inside my head that's
says,
like,
hey, maybe
honey,
don't do that.
Maybe walk away.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm not dry yet. Don't mess with me. Or, hey. So if I don't listen to that voice, then it ends up much worse. The other part I've learned is that if you want feedback, you got to ask for the feedback before you're ready to be done with it. Because really, if you wait, what you're really just asking is...
That's really true.
It's like, oh, I need to post this thing tomorrow, or in 5 minutes, does it look fine? So really, you're not wanting feedback. You're wanting a blessing of, hey, this is good enough. But if you know you really need some feedback, you need to ask someone with enough time that if there's things to be changed, there's time to do that.
That's really important. And I am learning that myself. So, yes. And if you just want someone to tell you it's good and bless it, just let them know that.
How do you do that? You just say, hey, I just need you to tell me that this is good. But what if it's not good? Are you wanting them to tell you a lie if they don't like it?
No.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I guess not. Well,
I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't know. I think it's once you begin to invite people into your process or into the thing that you're making, be ready to hear what they have to say. I think there's a level of that. And so if you're getting ready to show this to somebody, one, don't show it to a jerk, someone who likes being a critic. And if you're this person, you were loved, but I'm not going to show you my artwork. Show it to somebody that you know that loves you and cares about you growing. So I think that's probably more where that comes down to. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard, and I'm sorry. You've done such a good job with that, and with asking for help, asking for feedback, and you trust me with that, and I really appreciate it. So it's hard.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, I'm still learning my process because it used to be, before I ever really had feedback, that I would just write something, get it done, and play it at church that Sunday. That used to be how I would do things. This was when I was in high school. And I had a lot of people who
Are you sure it's that long ago?
Early adulthood.
I'm joking. Your shirt smells nice.
Well, that's good. That's good. I didn't ask for your blessing to wear it, so it's good. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds like I washed it. Yay for me. Okay, continue. Continue.
You can tell we're tired.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I get slumber party silly when I'm tired. And so you're welcome that you've been invited into this.
Yes.
All right. So you used to write a song. Hey everyone, here's my song. You should love it.
Exactly. And now I'm kind of realizing, all right, how do I cultivate a routine of writing? And that's something that I really still struggle with. We started doing Tuesdays is the day I work on music. And what I found that on those days where I would sit down to do it, all of a sudden my motivation was gone and my desire was gone and my anxiety was through the roof because I catch myself when I'm writing music, I want to get to the finished stage of a song right away. I want to be done with it. It's I want to be done with it so I can move on to the next song that I haven't created yet. There's this consuming mentality. And I do the same thing when I buy books. I'll start reading a book, and then I'll buy another book and start reading that, and then I'll buy another book and start reading that, and by the time I have a whole bunch of unfinished books, whole bunch of unfinished songs. So I'm learning to kind of slow down, recognize that there's a process for it. So how it tends to work is I will usually end up be sitting just on my guitar. Some of the best songs I've ever come up with have started with me having social anxiety in church, and I'll just be sitting back there noodling on the guitar, and I'll come up with a riff. The riff for Angels and Monsters came at the end of a house church meeting, I was just sitting playing on my guitar. I was like, hey, I like this.
I'm sorry you have social anxiety.
Everybody does. So, it usually starts with me coming up with something, but then like trying to flesh that out into a full-fledged song idea can take a really long time. Sometimes I'll use song maps. You can find those online. They give you like a basic plot points that you just fill in with verses and choruses. And so I get it to a draft point, and then I show it to the one person who I care about opinion, and that's her. She listens.
And I usually I try to ask now, do you want an overall sense of if I like this song, or do you want me to give you specific
It's true.
Like just so I know what you're wanting.
It's true.
From the feedback.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
And we've gotten good. I've gotten better because I still have a very sensitive reaction to critique.
But at least your shirt smells nice.
That's good. There's always that. So after she's kind of helped me refine it a little bit, then I bring it to the rest of the band, and we have a lot of really good musicians in our band, and they will give me very honest feedback. There's this song that we're working on right now, and I couldn't have finished it without their help. It was super, super helpful. But there's a lot of openness, there's a lot of vulnerability in my process that I'm still very uncomfortable with, if I can be honest.
Get used to it.
Yeah. Yep.
I had another thought. What I've learned, too, about process is I am all for free writing and free play. But if you're intentionally wanting to make something, whether it's a story or a painting or something, doing the outlining and having a general plan first is very important. And when you know you're going to sit down and work on it next, kind of having today I'm going to try to work on this part of the painting or this chapter and have it, I'm already thinking about it ahead of time, and writing excuses, which is an awesome podcast, helps with all, like, kind of this. Because if you just sit down the next day and you have 3 hours, what am I going to work on?
Yeah, see, I get really stressed when I don't have a plan.
Yeah,
I get really stressed when I don't have a plan.
So the plan can be loose, but if you kind of know, okay, I'm going to work on this part of the painting tomorrow. So, because I'm really bad at it, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm realizing, I'm like, oh, let me work on this part of the painting. Oh, no, this part. And then I get so overwhelmed. So having little sections. Like bite-sized sections. So I find that it's easier to work like on process in creativity than it is being a person.
Yeah.
Because it's like, which thing do I work on first? Do I work on my health? Do I work on my mental health? Do I work on my relationships? And then it's so overwhelming. So, let me know what do you think? But I'm still working on it. But for example, like with health, like for physical health, I try to do everything at once. Okay, I'm gonna drink all the water. I'm gonna eat all the right food. I'm gonna do all the exercising. And then by like the second day, wow!
Yep. It didn't work. I quit.
It didn't work. After 2 days, I quit.
Yeah.
So, trying to pick one thing and then another thing and then another thing. And that's really hard for me because I want to fix everything at once. I want to have all the areas down at once.
Yeah, I understand that.
And so that is what I'm trying to work on is just a thing at a time, and then adding in.
Yeah, I struggle with that too, especially when it comes to spiritual practice. I have so many spiritual practices. Like if I did all of them every single day, I would do nothing else.
Like
like drumming. Drumming is something I do. Sitting in silence.
Yeah.
Reading all kinds of different authors. Because like I said, when I buy one book, and then I buy the next one, and I never finish any. And so I started meeting with kind of a mentor, spiritual director, Terry Burns. You're awesome. We were chatting, and I think one of the things I was invited into was having it be focusing on less instead of trying to do everything.
Right. Yeah, you can't.
And that there's this impulse in me. Even today, like trying to simplify what I was doing, all of a sudden it was like, oh, but I actually can. Like that's just me. I'm like you. I try to do all those things all at once, and learning to do small things. I think one other writer calls them micro habits.
Well, the thing too that I'm realizing is that if you do have one thing, it does affect all the other areas of your life, though.
Yes.
So it's not like you're necessarily neglecting other areas.
Right.
We're not encouraging you to do that. But everything you do affects everything else you do.
Right. They all feed into everything.
Right.
Yeah, that's very true. It's all very interconnected.
And we get it. People all over the planet get it. Their social media might not look like they understand, but
they get
nobody's got all the things
down.
If you do, by the way, we want to know what the deal is, because all the things at once going well and having them down just seem like, if so, then you're an anomaly. Anomaly. I think that I need to work on English.
I think you need to work on napping, honey.
Well, I didn't sleep very well. I haven't been sleeping very good. And then my blood sugar started crashing. And then I was in the grocery store for forever. And it's rainy outside. And so I got a little tired.
Lots of reasons. Yeah, I think before we kind of do prompts, if I can encourage us with anything, we met with a life coach a long time ago. Our lives were in a lot of transition, and one of the things he said to me that has stuck with me is the phrase "embrace the process." Embrace the process. I would take it a step further. Love the process that you're in as much as you love the art that you are making. Like, I need to learn to love the process of songwriting as much as I love the songs that I make.
Well, that's really difficult to do.
It is.
It's hard work.
But it's a mentality shift. I think it's like if you are someone who struggles with loving the process, why? Is it because you're in a hurry to get this out because you want to have the identity of being an artist?
Yeah.
Or is it because
Bingo.
So don't rush those things. Learn to love the process that you're in, both as a human and as a creative. What are the prompts?
Well, there's several here. I think that one cool idea would be to make an art piece that goes through the seasons. So winter, fall, spring, summer. Man, this is you guys are seeing my brain on super tired.
We are fully human today.
Yeah, so you can make an art piece or a poem, something like that. You could pick a recipe to make that is processed. Like my mom used to make homemade bread. Mm-hmm. And she would punch it, dum, dum, dum. If you need to get out some stress, that may be a good way too. And then it has to rise, and then you have to do it again, and then you have to let it rise, and then it bakes, and then you have this amazing smell. But bread, I don't make homemade bread because I'm not patient enough with the process. But maybe make something like that where you get to enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Oh, I had one more. Now I forgot what it was. Are you guys surprised that I forgot?
You can put it on the journaling worksheet so that they can look at it then if you need to.
Yeah, and in case you forgot, we always have a journaling workshot on
each
Patreon
episode.
It doesn't cost anything to download those.
It's true. It's very, very true.
Do you have one?
No. I think that yours was great. So the song that we're going to do is one that, speaking of processes, we learned a lot about process making our first record. And Jeff Hoover, thank you so much for being such a vital part of that process and teaching us about process.
We had no clue what we were doing.
This particular song I wrote ages ago. Jonah's song. It was ages ago, but the form that it took on Outcasts and Refugees, it involved a lot more work of us learning to sing together. It involved creating. It was my first kind of venture into adding some different movements into songs, and so I love how the record turned out. I love how the drums turned out on it. I love how the slide turned out on it. So we're going to play that song without all the rest of that. We're just going to just guitar and vocals. But that's the song that we're going to do for this show.
And if you don't know who Jonah was a big meanie who he didn't like people he thought weren't good people. And so he's kind of a jerk. And then he ends up spending 3 days in the belly of a big old fish. Mm-hmm. So I think 7 seconds inside a fish would be a long time, but it was 3 days in the belly of the fish, and then he still didn't learn at all. So it's a story about a guy who struggled with the process of forgiveness and love. Mm-hmm. And
yes.
And it's a great song that you've written.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to sing. So anyway, we love you, and we will see you soon with another episode. All right. Bye. 4.
Lay me down to the bottom of the sea. I need to learn. Oh, I need to learn to breathe.
Wash me out, all my hatred and my shame, till only love remains. 'Cause it all don't mean nothing if my soul's too light to sink. Yeah, my life won't change a thing if my heart's too hard to bleed. If my heart's too hard to bleed. Ooh. Break me down, body, mind, and soul. I need to see all the demons that I own.
So break me down, swallow up these lies. Let the truth, all truth open up my eyes.
'Cause it all don't mean nothing if my soul's too light to sink. Yeah, my life won't change a thing if my heart's too hard to bleed. If my heart's too hard to bleed.
So drag me out from the belly of your storm and bring me back, oh, back to your shore.
Yeah, drag me out.
Oh, drag me out.
Reform me from the sand and breathe your life. Breathe your life into this man, 'cause it all don't mean nothing. If my soul's too light to sink.